So the situation then at the front has worsened. That is the admission from Ukraine's top commander, as he said, that Kyiv's outnumbered troops have fallen back to new positions west of 3 villages on the eastern front, where Russia has concentrated significant forces in several locations. The retreat there is Kyiv hopes it can stabilise its forces again while it takes delivery of US weapons under that $61 billion aid package approved in the US last week. Well, we're going to cross then live to Kyiv, talk to our correspondent who joins us from there, Gulliver Cragg. Gulliver, firstly then, give us the latest position that you're hearing on the ground, can you?
Well, Colonel General Alexander Syrskyi named 3 villages in Donetsk region that he said Ukrainian troops had withdrawn from, one of them southwest of Donetsk, 2 of them in the Avdiivka direction, beyond Avdiivka to the northwest of Donetsk city and Avdiivka. The Russians are saying that they've gone further than that, and some independent observers are also assessing the amount of terrain that the Russians have gained in recent weeks as a bit bigger than what Syrskyi is admitting to. But he said that it's not only in Donetsk region that the Ukrainians are under pressure. Of course, there's also in Donetsk region, we shouldn't forget this key battle for the town of Chasiv Yar. Colonel Syrskyi didn't speak of any Ukrainian retreat in that area, but he said the fighting there was very intense. And then outside Donetsk region, to the north on the border between Luhansk region and Kharkiv region, he said there that the Russians had had some partial success in their advance towards trying to retake the city of Kupiansk, which is just inside Kharkiv region. But the Russians have been trying to do this for months and months. They're really only inching forward. So it's important not to, exaggerate the scale of these Russian gains. But the Ukrainians are admitting very much that they're on the back foot, including also in the south, though General Syrskyi said that in the south they were holding the line and the Russians hadn't managed to advance.
Gulliver, a lot of talk, of course, about the need for these new weapons to arrive, but there's also a big lack of manpower, isn't there? Mobilisation, a key issue.
Yes, that's the other key problem for the Ukrainian armed forces. They're absolutely outmanned. It's hard to put any numbers on it because, of course, they're very, very tight-lipped about it. But, you hear soldiers saying that they've only got half the manpower that they need in their brigade or their battalion, and they're really struggling, the Ukrainians, to recruit more people. I think that may be one of the reasons that General Syrskyi is being quite candid about Ukrainian withdrawals from these villages in Donetsk region, because he has a reputation after the battle for Bakhmut for being the guy that wants to hold out to the last at huge cost in human lives and won't retreat, won't make a tactical retreat even when it seems like the sensible thing to do. He wants to prove that that's not the case, that he is willing to make tactical retreats to save soldiers' lives. In all of his statements, he puts the emphasis on the need to save Ukrainian soldiers' lives because, of course, he's very aware that one of the main reasons people don't want to join the army is because they don't want to die, and the Ukrainians are taking very, very heavy losses at the moment. The mobilisation effort is not going well. We hear more and more reports of desertions, and hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian men are believed to have left the country illegally. At the moment, the Ukrainian public opinion doesn't seem to be very impressed with the government's ways of trying to boost mobilisation. The new mobilisation law has much more stick than carrot in it. It aims to boost ways for the government to catch men and make it harder for them to avoid the military recruiters. A lot of people are saying that they need a whole different approach to go for recruiting, to go for trying to really motivate people more. I was thinking we might hear some kind of big motivational speech from Volodymyr Zelensky once the United States voted disaid to say, look, now the weapons are coming, you're going to have the weapons you need, and so, we need to count on you. And he hasn't said anything of the sort. He seems very unwilling, the Ukrainian president, to really kind of own this mobilisation drive.